Good morning, Rams fans. I don't know if the Twitter Live worked, if everyone was able to view it. Technical difficulties, still new to it. Just want to make sure that I get this information out because, like I said, I told you I was going to do it, and I put some time to making sure I give you guys some accurate information on these prop bets. So let's get right into it. Don't want to waste any more time. It's almost 10 o'clock over here, so game's about to kick off. I don't want to miss anything. I know the Rams don't play till later. That's why I'm okay with getting these prop bets out a little bit later. But let's start with Jared Goff. We're looking on the DraftKings sportsbooks right now. I just want to use something that everybody has access to. Can't use it in California. Hasn't been legalized, but hey, it's all good. So if we look at Jared Goff's passing total, it's 274.5 yards. To me, that's a smash on the over. If we look at last week, Ryan Fitzpatrick on 28 passing attempts had 350 yards. This secondary and defensive line and the linebackers are hurting for the San Francisco 49ers. If you listen to this week's episode, I talked about there are 13 players that are hurt from the defense. So if we look at the roster from the beginning of the year to right now, 13 of those players are hurt and not playing this week. I think one or two of them are questionable, so I don't know. It may be 11, but again, that's a defense right there. That's almost a start. That's a starting defense. But back to Jared Goff, 274.5. All he needs is 275 to make it happen. He's done that 3 out of the 5 weeks. Let's take a look at the weeks that he did not do it, because that's important. We want to see why he didn't do it, what happened. The first week that he didn't do it was against the Philadelphia Eagles. He actually had 267 yards, which, it's under 10 to 275. Again, doesn't matter, you lose. But I want to look at why. He only had 27 passing attempts. That's not a lot. The reason he had so little was because they didn't need him to pass the ball. They won that game by almost 20 points. They're not as worried about throwing the ball deep, getting those passing yards. They're just trying to run out the clock, get a dub, go home. They did that. So, that's understandable. If you look at the second time he didn't do it, it was in that ugly-ass game against the New York Giants. That game wasn't fun to watch. It wasn't interesting. It was put me to sleep. I need some coffee. Just even talking about that game. He had 200 yards on 32 attempts. It's just that game wasn't exciting. No. So 3 out of the 5 weeks he hit it. I'm very confident in it, especially because the weak defense that we see from the 49ers this year because of all those injuries. Let's establish the run. Speaking of establish the run, we're going to get into Cam Akers, but let's establish the run, and then Goff is going to be able to do some play action and get to 300 yards. Let's make it happen this week and get a dub. But speaking of Cam Akers, his line total for rushing is 29.5 yards. And, to me, that's just a smash play right there in itself as well. If you look at the 3 games he's played in, he's hit it in 2 of the 3 games. His very first NFL game, he had 39 yards. That hits it. His second game, the one he didn't hit it in, it's because he only had 3 carries. He was hurt. I think it was right at the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second, somewhere right around there. And he had 3 attempts on 13 yards, so he wasn't able to hit that 29.5. But the first game he comes back, he's right back in it. He actually leads the Rams in rushing yards, not in attempts. He had 9 attempts for 61 yards. That's a 6.8 yard average per rushing attempt. That's pretty damn good. So what I'm saying is we need to see him in that 8 to 10 range, and I'm going to be very confident in him hitting that 30 yards. And I can see that script happening. They wanted to use him. They had high draft capital on him. They believe in him. I think that's a smash play. Another reason I really like it is I want to use the last game. What did the Dolphins do against the Niners? Matt Breida, somebody that we all think that Cam Akers is going to be better than Matt Breida. He had 28 yards against this team last week. I feel very confident that Cam Akers can have 2 more yards than Matt Breida against the same team who have pretty much experienced the same exact injuries. I know it changes week to week. It's a divisional game, but I'm really confident in that over 29.5 yards. I do have some notes here on Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. The reception total, both at 5.5, so you'd have to go over 5.5, which would be 6 or under. I don't feel confident because I'm 99% sure one of them would do it. I don't know which one it's going to be. If you really wanted to pick on the secondary of the 49ers and target the Rams wide receivers, I would be looking at the receiving yards. We have Robert Woods, who is at 62.5 over under, or Cooper Kupp 67.5. I believe one of them is going to get over it. I don't have to place a bet. So why not only place the bets I'm extremely confident in? So I'm staying away from those. If you want to place, if you feel like you have to place one of those bets on a wide receiver, I would look at the receiving line totals, the yards, not the receptions. Let's end it by taking a look at the last prop bet for the Rams. This time, I'm going to get away from the player props and get into the team total. The Rams' first half team total of 13.5. I'm very confident in that. I mean, McVay, as I like to call him, McGenius, is great at setting up first drive plays and a whole sequence where they score on the very first drive of the game. They've done it in every single game except the Bills. So I think I'm very confident they're going to be able to jump down the field, score a touchdown. Again, we keep on talking about the Dolphins. What happened last week? The Dolphins came and got to a 14-point lead right away. I believe it was the first 2 drives, or for a fact, at least the first 3 drives, to jump ahead. And that's actually one of my keys of the game we talked about in the episode. We need to jump ahead so we can take away that run a little bit and force hobbly-ass Garoppolo, to pass the ball a little more. Did feel a little rushed. I had to record it a couple times. There's some technical difficulties, but I'm very confident in these 3 plays. You hit 2 out of 3, you're in the money. 1 out of 3, you're losing a little money. 0 out of 3, send me home. Don't listen to me again. Took the time to really dive deep into these and find some supporting facts for why I think they're going to happen. Now, all we can do is place the bets and enjoy the game. All right, Rams family, have a great Sunday. I look forward to this Sunday night football game. But for now, enjoy the other games we got going on and just enjoy watching some football. Have a good one. Bye.